guys, here in a nutshell with me, Ina. Okay, alam naman natin na isa sa mga immigration programs na pinaghihigpitan dito sa Canada ay ang International Student Program. In fact, alam mo, I will share with you this article showing that majority daw of immigrants mismo support, nako ito ng anak ko, sabi ko na, wag kang, Luna, majority of immigrants support itong tightening of policies towards international students. So ito siya, no, yan. City News. Majority of immigrants support stricter policies on international student program. And, ito na yung data, oh. 2/3 of immigrants, 67%, particularly those who have been to Canada for over 6 years, back stricter international student policies. O, diba? Ito pa yung interesting sa akin, no? Among South Asian immigrants daw, nakitaan ng 77% support sa paghihigpit sa mga international students. Aba, interesting, ano? O sige, anyway, yan ang isa sa mga pag-uusapan natin with, ito, isasuki na natin to dito sa in a nutshell. Ayan, si Dayanara Empuerto, isa po siyang registered immigration consultant dito po sa Canada. Hello, welcome back, Dayanara.
Hi, Miss Ina. Hi, Luna.
Hello. Si Luna talaga, pagpasensyahan niyo na guys. Ang hirap ako lang nagbabantay eh. But anyway, okay, Dayanara. Actually, hindi naman yung survey lang talaga ang pag-uusapan namin dito sa episode na to. It's more of, bakit ba, Dayanara, marami pa ring gustong mag-international student dito sa Canada amidst criticisms towards the program, some saying, kasi wag nyo nang gamitin yung pathway na yan bilang shortcut. Shortcut kasi yan eh. Actually, I have some comments, just a couple of comments to show you, Dayanara, which I think ito ilan sa mga sasagutin natin dito sa episode na ito. These are from my previous episodes. Halimbawa, itong si @Rollwing, sabi niya, madali lang naman makakuha ng PR sa Canada kung legal na pathway ang applyan mo. Kung international student or work permit, talagang mahihirapan ka. Huwag gawin sa shortcut. Mag-apply na lang daw as skilled worker or provincial nominee. Sigurado hindi pa raw mahihirapan kumuha ng PR. Okay, there's another one. Bakit gusto nyo ang student or tourist visa pathway para maka-PR when there is an express entry straight PR? Ayun. Okay, so which one do you want to answer first, Dayanara? Which one do you want to answer muna? Itong,
I mean, both. Kasi I of course, I argue against the term shortcut. Because, oh my God, unless you've been through the process itself, like the pathway itself, and, you know, possibly talk to, until you have spoken to people who actually are going through the process, going through the system, it's hard to say that it's a shortcut. And also, meron po kasi siyang, parang the connotation is it's not a legal path. The legal path is the express entry to PR. That's not really true because going to Canada as a study permit holder or a work permit holder is a legal path. It's a legal path to PR. And if kasi siguro po, Miss Ina, I understand na siguro po ang ina-argue nila is, kasi nilagay mo sa letter mo na babalik ka.
Yeah, correct.
Nilagay mo sa letter mo na babalik ka sa bansa mo after mong magtrabaho, tapos ngayon mag-a-apply ka ng PR. Paano mo nasabing legal yung proseso mong ginagawa mo na yan? The argument against that is, you know, dual intent. Dual intent is a perfectly legal, you know, mechanism sa batas po ng immigration ng Canada. People can have dual intention, meaning a person who's applying for a study permit can have the intention of studying at the time of the application, but can, you know, potentially apply for PR kapag ka po may nagbukas na pathway para sa kanya. Kapag ka meron siyang legal na paraan, papasok po ng permanent residency.
Okay. About that dual intention, Dayanara, is that something that you advise your clients to mention upon application? Pwede ba yun? Or, kasi alam mo, let's be real, many alam naman nila na ang end goal nila is to become PR.
Opo.
When, they take the international student program. So,
Opo.
technically, alam nila na dual intention naman sila, but they don't
Opo.
say it upon application. So, how do
It's
you
their
explain
choice. Opo, it's their choice. Definitely, there are clients who put it in their letters. There are clients who don't. Now, personally, in my letter, during my letter, when I applied to go to Canada, I didn't. Because during that time, my intention in that time, because I'm applying for a temporary visa, a temporary status as a student, Miss Ina. So at that time, I had to prove that I will come back. So I didn't. I didn't see the reason why that I have to put dual intention. Because I know, personally, alam namin ng asawa ko, that when we decided to go to Canada using the study permit and, him having an open work permit, na there's always a chance na babalik kami. We understand that and we accepted it. We understand that and we accepted that risk when we went to Canada. So personally, I didn't.
Okay.
But there are clients who do put dual intention. But this is what I always warn them about. Hindi dahil naglagay ka ng dual intention sa statement of purpose mo o sa letter mo nung nag-apply ka ng study permit, ay hindi ka na itetest against you coming back to your home country.
Oh, so ganun din pala.
Ganun din. There's no difference. That's why a lot of people don't. Kasi kahit ilagay ko siya, hindi naman din ako itetest ng Canada or i-assess ng visa officer against my chances of becoming a PR. I'm still going to be assessed as an international student. So there's really no point in including it. And like I said, Canadian immigration laws allow for dual intention.
I see. Okay. Fair point, fair point. Sige. Ito naman. I'm sure marami nagtatanong din sa'yo, Dayanara. Bakit ba kasi student pathway pa rin ang pinupush ng ilang mga RCIC? I don't know if that is the case sa'yo, sa mga sinasuggest mo, ina-advise mo sa mga clients mo. But bakit pa ba pinopromote ang international student pathway at hindi na lang express entry, halimbawa?
I mean, how I wish I had that option when I applied. Kasi po, I will use myself, Miss Ina, as an example because I went through the international student pathway back in 2019. So, before po ako nag-decide na maging international student, nagte-test na ako doon. Meron po kasing tinatawag na calculator, yung tinatawag na CRS calculator, which will allow you to somehow get an estimate of your points based on your credentials, of the points that you will get should you apply for permanent residency. At that time, scores were not as high as now. Nung nakaraan kong nagkaroon ng draw, I have it here, was October 9 for Canadian experience class, and the score was 539. Mas Ina, to get 539 is the person has to be young, so probably below 30. The person has to have perfect English language scores. The person has to have 1 year of Canadian experience in Canada, Canadian education, a bachelor's degree at least from their home country na assessment sa isang education credential assessment system. So not everybody has those, has those characteristics or yung credentials na yun sa kanila, sa portfolio nila. So if you are someone who's older, in your 30s or in your 40s, or someone who doesn't have the ability to get perfect language scores sa IELTS or sa CELPIP, you need to get Canadian education or you need to get Canadian experience to be able to boost your score. That's why people go through either work permit pathway kung posible or study permit pathway kung posible din. Yun po yung hindi na po kasi ganun katulad ng dati na yung score system sa express entry ay doable pa for someone who's outside Canada. It's not as doable now compared to before na it started in 2015. Yung scores nila during the time was 450.
Okay.
Diba? 469, ganyan. Doable pa yun. Kaya mo pang ma-reach yun kahit na medyo may edad ka na tapos nasa labas ka ng Canada. Pero ngayon, Hindi na ganun eh.
I
Diba?
see. So what you're saying also is that hindi naman sa ginusto lang mag-international student ang ganun-ganun lang eh.
Opo.
Definitely, I think many applicants dun sa student program considered initially yung express entry, pero siguro na feel nilang sinasabi mo na hindi sila makakapasa. Mahihirapan sila. So it's not as simple as just applying and then makukuha mo yung PR.
Yes. Yes, and also Miss Ina, honestly, I do see clients na ganyan na naloko ng mga agency from Dubai, from the Philippines, from Saudi na 2 to 3 years na silang naghihintay for express entry or sometimes even provincial nomination. Tapos wala. Kasi yung iba, syempre kailangan magbayad ka na. So, ang gagawin ng agency, magpapabayad sila. Tapos sasabihin nila, kapag ka na-draw, mag-a-apply ka. What if hindi ka ma-draw? What if hindi bumaba yung score enough para magka-draw ka? What if wala kang job offer from an employer in Canada? And Ms. Ina, I can say this now because I work with, PR applicants. Probably 9 out of 10, 90% of all PR pathways na meron sa Canada, even probably 95%, kailangan ng job offer. Lalo yung mga nasa provincial nomination, Ms. Ina, kailangan mo ng employer who's going to offer you a job or an employer who's going to support your PR application. Now, most employers in Canada would want someone na na-test na nila, na-employ na nila. Siyempre, nakita na nila yung performance. So, dahil nakita na nila yung performance mo, tutulungan ka na nila na makapag-apply ka ng PR. Pero kung nasa ibang bansa yung tao, hindi sila ganun ka-motivated to help because they haven't even met you. They haven't even seen your skills.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, so parang nagbago na rin talaga yung landscape pagdating sa express entry. Although it still does happen, Dayanara, I know.
Kasi yes. Like for example, Miss Ina, October 10, October 9, there were 500 applicants who were invited. Noong October 7, there were 1,600 applicants who were invited. Noong August 27, 3,300, Miss Ina, ang in-invite nila. So, it still is a possibility. And how I wish it is, kasi sa totoo lang, Miss Ina, nobody wants to pay times 4 or times 5 of the tuition. Nobody wants that.
Kaya nga so how do you feel, Dayanara, sometimes, Kasi ako nasa-sense ko rin, let's say sa comment section sa mga episodes ko, na parang ayaw ng ilan na, yun na nga yung shortcut idea. From your experience, bakit mo sasabihin na hindi ito shortcut? In fact, alam mo yun, una sa lahat, ang laki ng pera na inilabas ninyo. Not to say naman na binayaran nyo yung pathway. Pero kasi when you are, let's say, on post-graduation work permit, and then ang mo na, let's say, gusto mo na pala maging PR, the same screening procedures, yung pagdadaanan mo naman eh, di ba? Kasi you will end up with PNP Pro application or parang express entry application din. So technically, in that sense, hindi rin siya shortcut. Tama ba?
Yes po. Opo, Ms. Ina, because you still go through 2 to 3 step process. A 2 to 3 step process. So, it's basically, parang pagdating sa naka-PGWP na yung applicant, tapos naka-work permit yung iba, for example, pantay-pantay na sila ng pagkakataon. Actually, may mga PR pathway nga po na hindi pwedeng kuhanin ng isang postgraduate work permit holder. For example, agri-pilot. Hindi yan pwede sa kanila. Ang agri-pilot ay para lamang sa mga naka-LMIA. Merong mga PR pathway na designed naman para sa mga international students. Gaya po ng Ontario, meron silang special pathway for international students. Yes,
talaga ba? Okay.
Ang British Columbia, ganun din. Ang Atlantic Immigration Program ay merong special accommodation for those who studied in, schools in those provinces. So, in a way, dun sa mga aspeto na yun, I think nagbibigay sila ng kahit papanong advantage for those who studied in their areas. Kasi, Ms. Ina, the provinces themselves, they understand that these people invested money and time in their provinces. And yung pera na ibinigay ng international students o ibinayad ng international students, those are used for the benefit of domestic students as well. I don't know if you live near St. Clair, there in Windsor.
malapit dito. Yeah.
I saw St. Clair and it's beautiful. Beautiful campus, beautiful school. I live near Fanshawe College and I have seen Fanshawe do expansions in different areas. Meron na ngayong Fanshawe College sa St. Thomas, which is 30 minutes from us. Meron na sa mas malayo pang lugar. Nakakapag-expand sila, nakakapagtayo sila ng campuses sa iba-ibang lugar in more remote areas from London, na nagiging advantage din ng mga domestic students na gustong mag-aral din. Hindi na nila kailangan bumiyahe towards the city. Meron na sila doon sa campus nila. So, it's still an advantage. So, parang it kind of hurts us when we're being parang accused of going through the shortcut when it's not really the case.
Yeah.
And it's and it's unfair, honestly, na yun yung nagiging mindset. But I do agree, Ms. Ina, dun po sa pinakita ninyong article, na there needs to be some restrictions and there needs to be, kumbaga, limitations to it so that bad actors, so yun yung mga sinasabi natin ng mga agencies na hindi registered sa Canada or yung mga yung mga consultants na nagkukunwaring consultant pero hindi naman lisensyado po ng hindi naman registered as RCICs, makokontrol sila. Lalo din po yung mga schools na kumukuha ng private school sa Toronto and as partnership, ganyan, na nag-produce ng the diploma mills, ganyan. So, these are bad actors, parang they don't help the system, they belittle the system, they minimize the system, na kailangan din naman po talagang masawata.
Yeah, oo nga. And by the way, guys, sa mga nanonood dito, it's not that we are here to promote the international student program as the best, means or process para kayo ay maging PR, diba? Dayanara, for example, if you had a client who wants to migrate to Canada, tapos maganda naman ng standing niya, if you think that he or she can or has a good chance sa express entry, would you still push for international student pathway? Hindi na, diba?
Hindi na po. So what I would do, usually during PR consultations, Miss Ina, that's why it's an hour, is I take out the calculator and then I break it down for them. Ito yung score, ito yung score, ito yung score mo. Wala ka pong Canadian experience, so makakabawas yun. Wala ka pong Canadian education, so makakabawas po yan. Ito po ang score mo in the end. Ngayon po, kapag po nagkaroon ka ng Canadian education, ganito po yung itataas ng score mo. Pag nagkaroon ka ng experience, ganito po yung itataas ng score mo. So makikita din nila. Kita nila from the consultation na, okay, kailangan ko palang makahanap ng employer sa Canada para makapag-apply ako sa provincial nomination. Kailangan palang pwede palang maging option ko na mag-aral ako ng construction or healthcare program para maka-join ako dito sa mga special draws for these occupations. So having someone guiding you is okay. Or if you're someone like me na nung time na yon talagang ma-research ako. So nagdi-research talaga ako kahit na siyempre wala naman akong hindi naman teacher po kasi ako sa Pilipinas hindi naman ganun karami yung aking budget pang so at that time kung mahilig kang mag-research, you can do that or send questions, diba? Send questions, wala naman din pong problema doon. But honestly, I never promote the international student pathway for someone na maaari namang dumaan sa ibang pathway. But yes, Ms. Ina, the other pathways for PR, it's very hard for someone who's outside Canada without a job offer from an employer to penetrate. It's really hard. Which is why a lot of people, they go through the study permit pathway. Which honestly, Ms. Ina, if used correctly, if used smart, efficiently, effective din naman po talaga.
And also, alam mo parang, asa na ba to? Wait, yung isang comment dito. Hindi ko pala nakuha. But, meron akong nakita rin sa comment section ko saying, ako nga, it took years daw, Dayanara, before nakuha siya sa PNP or Express Entry. Parang apply, hindi ko, parang kumbaga, hindi niya pa rin pinili ang student pathway. Siguro kasi nga ang sinasabi niya, no, it's a shortcut, hindi yung tamang paraan. Meron ka din bang mga cases na gano'n na express entry na lang, apply until you succeed?
And apply.
Is that a good strategy too?
Well, if you have the time to wait, why not? But honestly, going to Canada as a young person in your 20s or in your early 30s have some advantages too, especially if you want to retire someday, if you want to get substantial pension. Syempre, the earlier you work in Canada, the better your pension becomes by then, you know, by towards your retirement. So, I always say, kung mas bata ka at may kapasidad ka, mas magandang pumunta sa Canada ng mas maaga, mas bata. Personally, I saw that advantage. I was 25 when I moved. It became, wala pa kaming anak. So parang it became easier to establish ourselves because we're younger, di ba? Siyempre, pagka mas bata ka, mas madaling mag-aral, mas madaling mag-upgrade, mas madaling mag-upskill. But if you have the time to wait, maganda naman ang buhay mo sa Dubai or sa Pilipinas or sa ibang lugar, then why not? Wait it out. But based on the trends that we're seeing right now with the scores, it can take a little while.
Yeah.
Kasi parang you're wishing for the scores to go low enough for you to get your invitation. But the draws that they're doing right now, Ms. Ina, are mostly in Canadian experienced class. Which means these people are you know, they gained at least 1 year experience in Canada.
Inside
Canada. So someone from outside who's waiting will not even be able to join that pool.
I see. So talaga napakahirap din pala talaga mag-express entry sa mga panahon ngayon.
Sa panahon ngayon, Ms. Ina, hindi na siya tulad po ng dati na may mga provincial nomination, Ms. Ina, dati na wala ka namang job offer, nakakapasok ka. Yung mga ganun eh. Ngayon, most provincial nomination programs would ask for, you know, job offer or someone from in Canada, an employer in Canada who will sign, you know, the forms for you.
Okay. How about yung chances for PR? Ano ba talaga ang weight ng Canadian education when it comes to applying for permanent residency? And also, i-consider mo, Dayanara, yung mga, you know, current developments. Kasi generally speaking, alam naman natin na pahirap na ng pahirap ang pagiging permanent resident sa Canada.
Well, kung titingnan natin, Ms. Ina, yung way, I don't know, can I share my screen?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this is like a mini consultation. Okay, so we're now going through the comprehensive ranking system. Ito na siya. This is the CRS tool. This has been used for decades now. Ayan po. So, kung titingnan natin, Ms. Ina, these are questions that you will have to answer. So, pagpalagay po natin, this person is married, and then the person, of course, hindi PR yung asawa niya, and then the spouse will come to Canada with them. Okay? So, dito tayo sa edad. Once makikita niyo po dito sa edad, yan, so, 45 years of age or more, there are no scores anymore. Zero. The perfect scores for age will usually be obtained by those below 30. So, palagay po natin ng 29. Ayan. Okay? Perfect score yan for age. Now, for highest level of education, ipagpalagay po natin na yung taong ito ay nasa labas pa ng Canada. Wala pa siyang Canadian experience or education. So, ang kanyang ang degree niya is bachelor's degree. Bachelor's degree. So, wala pa siyang Canadian education. Tapos, nung nag-take siya ng IELTS, nakakuha siya ng perfect score. Score.
I-perfect na natin na.
7.5, 8.5, 8, and 7.5. Tapos, wala siyang ibang language. Ito po yung tinatanong kung meron kang French proficiency. So, pagpalagay po natin na dito sa part na to, not applicable. Wala po kayong French proficiency. Tapos, dito po, no Canadian experience. So, kung mapapansin po ninyo, ang ino-note lang po ng Canada ay skilled work. So, that means they're 0, 1, 2, or 3. So, parang hindi
1, 2, 3 lang pala, no? Okay.
Hindi po counted yung mga nasa manufacturing, yung mga laborers, machine operators, material handlers, ganyan. Hindi sila counted for now. And then, pagpalagay po natin na yung tao ito, dahil 29 years old na siya, ay meron na siyang 3 years or more na experience sa Pilipinas, for example, na skilled din. Skilled. So, kailangan, yan po, teacher siya, or engineer, or ganyan. Okay? Tapos, ito pong certificate of qualification is usually for tradespeople, mga nasa construction, ganyan po. So, syempre, no.
No din.
And then, ito ang laging confusion. Meron akong job offer. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng job offer? Dapat po yung inyong kumpanya na nasa Canada, for example, ay magbibigay sa inyo ng LMIA for permanent residency application, specifically for PR application. So, most people wouldn't have this. Pero mataas sana to, 50 points po ang maidadagdag sa inyo kapag kami ganito. So, no. And then, no nomination kasi wala kang job offer or hindi talaga eligible pa. Ngayon, ito pong tanong na ito is, meron ka bang kapatid or yung asawa mo ba o ikaw ay merong kapatid na nasa Canada na PR or citizen? So, 15 points po ang idadagdag nito. Palagay natin wala siyang kapatid. And then, ito naman po ay para sa asawa niya. Pagpalagay po natin na yung asawa niya ay bachelor's degree graduate din.
Sige.
Yan sa Pilipinas, bachelor's degree graduate. And then, wala din po siyang work experience sa Canada sa ngayon.
Okay.
Mas pa sila. Nag-take din siya ng IELTS, naka-perfect score din siya, yung asawa.
Ang haba pala nito. Ano ba yan?
Yeah, sabi sa'yo, Miss Ina, mahaba ito, parang sa consultation ito. So, calculating the score, nakita niyo po yung age, di ba? That's 100 points. Ayan. Tapos, ang score po is 443.
Oh, sa panahon ngayon, medyo mababa, no?
Medyo mahirap po makakuha ng invitation for this because last time po, ang cut-off po last time, which was October 9, ang cut-off po sa Canadian Experience class is 539.
Grabe, no?
Ito.
If you add school, ilang points yon?
If you add Canadian education, itataas natin ng konti, eto po. So, pagpalagay natin that this person is the same age, 29 years old, nakapag-aral po siya sa Canada. So, magbabago tong part na to, magiging 2 or more certificates kasi madadagdag yung Canadian education po. Tapos, magiging yes to, kasi meron na siyang Canadian education. And then, let's say po na ang kinuha niya lang is a 1-year certificate. Meron naman pong ganun, mga 1-year certificate. So, pag i-click po natin ngayon yan, ang score niya from 443 ay magiging 490.
Oh, okay.
Kasi ito po yung nadagdag. Study in Canada, nadagdag yung 15 points. Tapos, nagkaroon po ng nagkaroon po dito sa original proficiency and education. May mga score po na nadagdag dyan because of that. Kaya po naging 490. So, kahit pa paano, lumalapit-lapit tayo sa katotohanan. Ngayon, what if nagkaroon na ng skilled work experience yung tao? Nandito na siya.
Parang pwede, let's say yung mga part-time work niya while studying, ganun ba yan?
Hindi po kasi counted yung Miss Ina sa Canadian experience class yung experience mo as a student. Pero nakakount yung experience mo after mong mag-aral. So, under
postgrad PGWP. Alright, okay.
So, let's say naka 1 year na po yung taong ito. Naka 1 year na siya. Babalik tayo sa edad, nasa 29 pa rin tayo, Miss Ina, para perfect yung score sa age. Okay? So, naka 1 year experience na siya. Ito na, nadagdag na natin. So, pag kinompute po natin ngayon yung score niya, we now get 525.
Aba, lumapit na ng husto. So, that's the advantage pala.
Yes. Which, Miss Ina, kung pagbabasihan natin yung draw nung September 19, kung saan 4,000 po ang aplikante ang nakatanggap ng invitation, the cutoff score that time was 509.
Di ba? Pasok na.
That is why the study permit pathway still is a good pathway to go through, is still advantageous because of these factors. Kaya yung mga nagsasabi po na express entry na lang, because you're gonna be stuck at 443. That the range of score. Remember, Miss Ina, we put language test as perfect.
Yeah.
Hindi naman lahat ay kakayanin yung perfect score na yun eh. So, bubababa at bababa yung chance. This is precisely the reason why I chose to do the study permit myself. Nung nakita ko kung paano siya na-improve po.
Now I understand.
Yes.
Pero again, sa mga nanonood dyan, there's no guaranteed way to permanent residency. Okay? There is none. At sa ngayon, pahirapan siya. So, wag kayong mag-isip na pinopromote namin ang international student pathway para maging permanent resident kayo. Oh, okay.
It's a viable, my favorite word is viable. It's a viable, doable pathway for permanent residency, but it definitely is not easy. You must be prepared financially, mentally. You must be prepared, like, hopefully you have, if you need a representative, if you want a representative, someone is there for you all throughout, from beginning to end. Doesn't have to be me. Could be someone else that you trust. Okay, I'm not promoting myself, but could be someone else that you trust. Find someone reputable to help you kung hindi kayang mag-DIY, or be diligent and do the research yourself. Yeah.
Correct. Oh, and of course, alamin nyo na napakarami ng pagbabago ngayon sa international student program, yung mga sino lang makakapagpadala ng makakasama ng mga spouse nila, yung mga English test. Naku, napakahirap na yan. Kaya sometimes ako naman, Dayanara, that's why I also wanted to do this episode. I feel bad for those, coming in as international students. Kasi parang may hate towards them, na-feel ko. Siguro, lalo na sa panahon ngayon, hindi na, kasi nga nakikipaglaban na to, very competitive na for you to go through the international student program and become a PR. Hindi na talaga siya madali. Sabihin na natin before, could be, masasabi mo na mas madali siya like 5+ years ago. But at this time, pag nakakarinig ako roon, parang hindi na, mahirap na rin talaga.
Yeah. I mean, it still is quite manageable, Ms. Ina, depending on the person.
Alright.
There are some factors na nakita po natin kanina during the computation that you cannot change. You cannot change your age. It's not that easy to change your language abilities. Yung iba sinasabi nila, mag-aral ka na lang kasi ng French. Some people are privileged to have access to French lessons, exposure to people who are speaking French, who are able to gain French proficiency. But as we get older, learning a different language is harder. So, but if there is any silver lining po na nakita ko sa mga changes na in-implement ng IRCC is, unlike before na people take just any program, now they know there's a
I agree with it actually. Agree ako doon. Na parang klaro na ngayon kung sino, anong uring mga international students ang mataas, ang kailangan ng Canada, at mas may probability, mataas ang chance na
may mga nagtatanong sa akin, Miss Dayanara, pwede pa ba tong program to? Pwede pa ba tong program na to? Ngayon, madali ko nang masasagot na, hindi. Kasi wala siya sa listahan. Hindi ito pwede. Ito pwede to kasi nasa listahan siya. Ito pwede to sa'yo kasi ito yung background mo. In a way, it made my life as an educational consultant parang it gave me more integrity. As an immigration professional na I can now honestly say that this person can apply. There's a possibility of applying for PGWP towards PR. It becomes clearer for me now. There's more clarity now as opposed to before.
Correct. Oo. Ako din. Basta I like the changes being done to the international student program. Kasi ang end goal naman din talaga, I guess with any immigration program for any country, not just Canada, is kung tatanggap ka ng outsider to live in your country forever, permanently, siyempre gusto mo talaga masala sila ng masala, di ba? Yun naman talaga eh. And I think these changes are heading towards that direction.
Yeah. Actually, parang, I don't know if it's Western universities, parang director nila or another university na naapektuhan din daw po yung mga talent na gusto nilang kuhanin. For example, yung mga scientists na gustong mag-move sa Canada to do research, yung mga artists na gustong pumunta sa Canada to, provide cultural influence, naapektuhan na rin sila ng mga changes na, which is sad kasi if you have, let's say, a scientist who's working on Alzheimer's or ALS, or you want them to go to your country, you want them to be supported in their research, and if naapektuhan sila ng mga cut-offs, naapektuhan sila ng mga restrictions, that's also a negative for Canada, which is why a lot of these universities are also, campaigning to the government na it's okay for you to be restrictive, but you should also know that there are talents that we actually want to keep.
And
there
need
to move here na if they want to, we should give them the chance. So
Yeah.
it's a balancing act. Again, I don't envy people in power. It's a very hard thing to do, like balancing all of it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, ayun. Oh, 'di ba napahaba na naman ng discussion namin ni Dayanara. But as always, thank you so much. At nakalimutan ko banggitin sa umpisa, ang kanyang contact information ni Dayanara will be at the description
Of
box.
course. Yeah.
Oh, so thank you again, Dayanara. As
Thank
always,
you,
naku po.
Christina. I hope to see you soon around Windsor. See
Oo nga.
you soon.
Medyo malapit lang kami ni Dayanara kahit pa paano. Nasa London, Ontario siya. Ako nasa Windsor.
Mga 2 hours. Mga 2 hours. Yeah, we've been to Windsor before. It's the St. Clair, especially the Ambassador Bridge. The place is beautiful.
Yeah,
so,
I've never been to London naman. Wala akong alam pa sa London.
Kasi ano lang kami, mas kumbaga kami ay parang Hong Kong, dinadaanan lang kami. Sabi niya ni Bernardo. Di ba? Dinadaanan lang kami.
Okay.
Usually.
Oh, sige. We will end this episode here. Maraming salamat ulit, Dayanara. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!